Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. How are you over there, Miss Jean Turner?
I am fine. Grateful to be here on your most fabulous show. Thank you so much. It's a great
I'm so glad to have you. So glad to have you. The spirit of a warrior we have here with us here on The Kim Jacobs Show. And I want you all to go ahead and fasten your seatbelts because we're getting ready to go on a roller coaster ride. I'm not even exaggerating. So strap yourself in real tight and let's get ready for this journey. Today, we're going to be talking with the spirit of a warrior herself, and she's going to take us back on her journey throughout life. She is a nurse coach, and we're going to find out exactly what that is. And we're going to learn more about what it really means to be a warrior. We hear that term so loosely thrown around, but this woman is here today to talk to us about how our balance and our health really matters. Welcome, Jean, to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your awesome platform. It's an honor and a privilege to be here, Kim. Thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm ready to get it locked and loaded, as we say in the military, ready to roll.
Absolutely. Listen, everybody, take about 30 seconds and go ahead and tag some of your friends and family. That way nobody misses one word, not the intro, not the comments that's getting ready to happen about everything that's happened on her journey. We want everyone in your virtual seats to hear everything that's going to be shared throughout today's broadcast. Go ahead and let us know where you're visiting in from as well. And I'll pop your name, your comments in, your questions if you have any, as soon as we come back from this 30-second countdown. Don't deprive anyone of the opportunity to hear from our guest today, Jean Cooks Turner. Miss Jean Turner is here as a spirit of a warrior life, and she's going to share her journey now. Doesn't that go so fast, Jean? I don't think I even tagged one person. I'm like, oh. Anyway, let's go ahead and introduce this wonderful warrior, is what I'll call her. She's a retired Army officer, an Iraqi war veteran, author, podcaster, radio show host, and global speaker. We have with us today Jean Turner. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. Look, I'm so hyped.
Well, take all of that hypeness and take us on a journey of where you came from and where you've been. Let's just talk about the past for a minute. People usually say forget the past, but let's go to the past for a minute because we need to know more about you.
Well, thank you so much for allowing me to share. So yes, I am Jean Turner. Yes, holistic, board certified, holistic registered nurse and nurse coach. And we'll get to what that is in a moment. I am born and raised out of Jamaica, Queens, New York. Yes, indeed. That concrete jungle, as we call it back home, right? Grew up, in the 60s, 70s, product of that era. Mom was single. My parents divorced when I was still young. And so, growing up in that environment, in that concrete jungle back then, I had no idea that I would have the life that I had growing up in the projects, right? And it's funny because you plan to do one thing, but God takes you on a whole nother journey because I did not plan to be a nurse. Back then, you were raised to either be a homemaker, right? Or a legal, a secretary. And my goal was to be a legal secretary on Wall Street, believe it or not.
And on Wall Street?
on Wall Street. I used to work on Wall Street, as a matter of fact, while I was in high school. I had a part-time job for the Bank of Tokyo on 100 Broadway. Yes. And so that's what I thought my life was going to be, right? But I went on this journey, end up marrying young, leaving home. My ex-husband was military, and that just opened up a whole new door, because where we were stationed at, I couldn't get a job doing what I did. So I took a nursing assistant course one time back in 1985, where we were living at the time. And that just opened up my mind and my heart to being a caregiver and helping others through, the most vulnerable time in their life. And I went back to school to get my nursing degree and license. So I've been a nurse since 1987. I'm dating myself, but
oh my goodness, you look amazing. First of all, that is unbelievable to be a nurse for that long. You've seen some things happen along this thing called life. So just from 1987 to 2021, what are some of the things that you've seen and witnessed that have just like really blown your mind?
Oh boy. I done seen people mangled coming out of car accidents. I done seen what we call GI bleed, gastrointestinal bleed, and people just bleeding out. Oh my God. I mean, and then when I went into the Army in 1995, right, because I wanted to do something different with my nursing career. Be careful what you ask for. So, I went in the Army in 1995, started out as a reservist, and then ended up going active duty full time once 9/11 hit in 2001. And so, look, I done seen limbs blown off. I done seen, it's just too numerous to count. I
Right.
just seen quite a bit in my almost 35-year nursing career now. A lot.
Let me ask you too, with COVID coming on the scene, had you, and this is way different topic than what we're talking about today, but because of your tenure as a nurse, I mean, you've seen a lot. Had you ever seen anything remotely close to COVID?
No, none of us have, right? Not in our lifetime.
I never, but I'm saying maybe in the nursing field, there was some hidden plague or something that you got wind of. I was just wondering if it's like not even just us, but even nurses and medical professionals, you really were blown away by this as well, right?
Blown away. I mean, we've had patients, I've taken care of patients that had to be on isolation, that when we took care of them, we had to mask up, gown up, put on what we call in the Army full battle rattle, or full mop gear like you seeing now in our hospital wards, but not like COVID, tuberculosis and other things, but not like COVID. At least I haven't in my lifetime.
Interesting. So you've had to, I know nurses, for you to stay in that field for 35 years, you have to have a certain level of compassion. Where do you draw that compassion from? What's your source of your strength?
Well, and hopefully I can say this on your show, but my creator, God, is the source of my strength. But, I want to say this, because now we're seeing the healthcare professionals and all they're going through and the stress that they're under. And look, it takes I think it's a calling, Kim, to be honest.
I do too.
Calling. And unfortunately, there are many people in the healthcare profession that haven't been called to that. They don't necessarily have the compassion and the love. And you know what? It shows in their care that they give to their patients. You can tell.
Wow.
That's
interesting, a calling. And so you felt that was like something that you were called and gifted and graced to be able to do and to handle as a nurse. Yeah. And wow. And I recently read, I don't even remember where, so I can't cite the source right off the top of my head, but I remember just reading yesterday that there were about over 30 or so healthcare nurses or something that contracted COVID from a Christmas party that they all went to. And again, anybody that knows the source, feel free to type it. But I'm just saying something I was reading in my personal time. And I was like, man, they are pouring in and giving of themselves to their profession. And then to end up contracting COVID themselves, that's extremely overwhelming. Any thoughts on how nurses and medical professionals are feeling, as some of them are even contracting COVID during this time too?
Yeah, because you go to work it's like being on the battlefield right now. What we're seeing in healthcare now, in here across our nation and healthcare facilities everywhere, reminds me of being back in Iraq in 2006, 2007 on the battlefield, because you're really in a battle right now. You're giving compassionate care, caring for those infected with the virus, right? But at the same time, you've got to be suited up. You got to be geared up to try to protect yourself, because you got a family you got to go home to. So it's not just you. And so the stress and the strain of giving all you got to the sick and the vulnerable, right? But then trying to protect yourself and not take it back home. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of pressure that I don't think people on the outside really, really realize. And many have contracted it, right? Many have contracted it, but they still come back for more. Why? Because it's a calling. They are compassionate. They are giving. They are caring. They love what they do. And I want people to realize that.
Wow. You can't get any better situation than this. A person that's a nurse for over 35 years right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. She's here to talk about her personal journey, but because of the passion that she shares for her profession, she's also speaking from that perspective of some of the things people have dealt with dealing with COVID and dealing with patients that have come into the hospital setting who've contracted COVID. Many have passed away. Actually, over 700,000 people have passed away. So it's not just many people have passed. No, that's a rack of folk in the land that have died of this virus. So when you all are having to deal with people that have passed away and they've had to be in isolation away from their families, do you have any comments, thoughts about that? Just because we're going to transition to your story more, but I just thought I'd ask some stuff about COVID as well.
Well, see, I think that's the perfect transition, because being on one that suddenly, and I call it suddenly, in the blink of an eye, found themselves on the receiving end of healthcare. I can't imagine going through that, being hospitalized and away from your family, those nearest and dearest to your heart. They're low, except for the nurses and the doctors and the healthcare professionals, which you don't know them initially, right? That's right. Isolating. That could be very isolating, and it can really impede or hinder the healing process.
Wow. Well, we're talking right now today with Jean Turner, and she has a site called spiritofwarrior.life. That's her place where you can go and learn all of the information about her. But what we're going to be talking about next is her personal journey. Like she said, she was on the receiving end, normally on the end of helping, but now on the end of needing the help right after this commercial break. Wow. Pour your comments in, your thoughts, your questions, and we'll make sure we flash them on the screen throughout today's broadcast. Let's learn more about, let's go. We're going to learn right now about Snow Legal.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or ride share, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right. So we are back with Jean Turner. And Jean, you have gone through some traumatic experiences yourself. I'd like for you to talk to us about some of your life's battles that you've had to overcome.
Wow. Well, you know what, Kim? I believe in being straight, no chaser, keeping it real. And I thought when I went downrange to Iraq for that little over a year, that was a battle. No, ma'am. My biggest battle, right, which I believe God was preparing me for over the years, was when I found myself in a suddenly healthcare crisis in 2018 and hearing the words that nobody wants to hear. It's malignant. And so, I it started back in 2017, August of 2017. I went to the emergency room, right? Because I was suddenly out of breath running up a flight of stairs. That's unusual for me because here I was, this whole army chick, always in the gym. I was a marathon runner, for Pete's sake. I ran all the time. So why am I short of breath going up a flight of stairs? Went to the emergency room and they did a chest x-ray and they saw a little spot on my lung. Spot was no bigger than a pinprick, if you could imagine a pinprick, right? So they were more or less like, well, come back in 6 months and we'll check it out. Well, I listened, thank God, to my body and went in the first place. And after talking to one of my battle buddies, right, a former colleague of mine, she was like, Colonel CT, because they called me CT in the Army. She said, Colonel CT, get a second opinion, because she was going through something and was like, she told them to send her out. No shade against military medicine. I ain't trying to throw shade. However, I took her advice. I told my primary care provider, send me out to a civilian doc. I've known her for years. We were stationed together over the years at various duty stations. She sent me out to an oncologist here in Atlanta who saw it. She said, well, we can't biopsy it now because it's too small, but I will continue to monitor you over several months. Fast forward, summer of 2018, it started to grow. So now it went from a pinprick to almost 3 centimeters, right? They were able to biopsy it and said it came back to this malignant. July 5th, 2018, I heard those words. 2 weeks later in surgery, a month later, going through chemotherapy, 9 months of grueling chemotherapy. Fast forward, May 2019, rung the bell, signifying my last dose of chemotherapy treatments, praise God. However, the side effects caught up with me. And
you got a lot of connecting things, however, but, and, it's like, oh my God.
Girl, but wait for it now. Wait for it. Look, exactly 9 weeks after I got to ring the bell, I went into cardiac arrest because the side effects from the chemo caught up with me. So, yes. So, going through cardiac arrest, waking up 2 weeks later in the ICU, I didn't even know I went into cardiac arrest. Okay. I'm getting the backstory after the fact because my family was.
Wait. Pause. You cannot just go keep on telling the story. You rung the bell. Oh, man. You rung the bell on July 5th. You heard those words, malignant. 9 months later, you rung the bell. You think this is over. Things are going to be in remission. Life is getting ready to start, and it's going to be a new journey, a new lease on life. But you go into cardiac arrest and you're in a coma.
Yeah.
And didn't even know all of this was happening, that this was going to be a part of your story. You would be on the Kim Jacobs show sharing one day.
No.
Okay, go on. Tell us what else happened. This is crazy.
Oh my God. So I wake up 2 weeks later in the ICU with all these machines and pumps and this big monstrous machine on the end of my bed called an ECMO. Now I'm a nurse, so I knew when I knew something happened, but I couldn't remember. I didn't know what had happened till after the fact, but I knew it wasn't good, right? And so, but God brought me back from that. And then the end of that month, I got transferred to an inpatient rehab facility. I was in a wheelchair, and occupational therapy and physical therapy had to work with me to help me build back muscle in my legs. Because remember, I was bedridden. I died. God brought me back. I was in a coma. So everything you don't use, you lose. So I had to learn how to walk again. God put the strength back in my body again. So I went from that to wheelchair to a walker. And girl, by the grace of God, I'm back to jogging, riding a bike, walking. Yeah. But God knew I had to go through that. But it propelled me and pushed me into my purpose and destiny. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm more feeling what you're saying. Yes. So now what happened with you were in the military and everything. What was happening as you got this cancer diagnosis? You were bedridden, reestablishing your life and rebuilding literally your legs and everything. What was happening on that front? Because your job was still there, and did it just come support you, pray for? What did they do?
Look, thank God I was in the military because number one, from after that first dose of chemotherapy back in 2018, that was a shock to my body because my body was clean. I wasn't on no meds or no nothing. My body was clean. So after that first dose, I had to stop working. Thank God I was in the military, still getting paid, still on active duty. So they transferred me to what we call then the warrior transition battalion, where you get to recover and go through whatever medical condition you're going through. And then once I got out the hospital, fast forward in 2019, they said, ma'am, we can't retain you on active duty. You need to go ahead and retire. So yeah, I retired August of last year, 2020. And at that time, I was still on the external heart monitor, but later on that month, my ejection fraction was back to normal. I was able to come off the heart monitor. I went from a bag of meds, a Ziploc bag of meds. I'm now down to 3.5 meds. And actually, I'm weaning off of one now. So God, look, if don't know, God is the healer. There is a God because look, alarm clock, setting an alarm clock and all them bells and whistles in that ICU didn't wake me up until God woke me up. Girl.
God woke you up. I am so happy that you are awake to tell your story today. And listen, y'all, right after this commercial break, we're going to learn why this woman has been so passionate and become so passionate about helping others based on her journey. But we're going to go out praising for a second. You can't just forget now what God done. You can't forget what God did for you.
Come on with it.
If God did anything for y'all in the studio audience, you can be praising him too. Put some high fives, some praise emojis. Yes. I don't take for granted what God does. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break, everybody.
It's not just another day. It's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
Wow. Okay. So you owe all of your honor and just blessings to God for what he's done in your life. So you totally acknowledge that you couldn't have done this and gotten through this journey without your Lord and Savior, right?
Couldn't have, girl, could not have. Oh my God. And then what makes it even more, because I'll admit I was raised in church, but I strayed. As soon as I left home, I did whatever I was big enough and bad enough to do, girlfriend. But I loved God, don't get me wrong, but I was doing my thing. So this whole journey, look, it just brought, I feel like I've come full circle back to my Lord. I really do. My relationship and everything, because for me, that journey and that battle was it was more of a spiritual journey, even greater spiritual journey than the physical aspect of it.
Wow. Well, I'm so grateful that God kept you, for you to be able to share your story. I see all of your comments coming in. Let me make sure that I read some of these and acknowledge you all. If you have questions, please type them and we'll get them answered. I see you, Tanya. Glad to have you. Hello to you as well. Make sure you tag some of your friends. J. Nicole Goodson, glad to have you on today. You songstress. This woman can sing. Glad to have you. Definitely invite people in. Good morning, Mommy. I'm glad that everything worked out for you. My mom just had a brief procedure and she is on the show. So that's just amazing. God is good. God is great. He good. Yes. He is magnificent. So thank you, Lord, for allowing my mom to get through what she had to go through this morning. Jesus. God is awesome. Look at you now. Talking about you. Look at you now, Jean Turner.
Glory.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes, lots of praise. High five. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Praise the Lord. Hello, ladies. Hey, Kimberly. Glad to have you all.
Thank you.
Kimberly Fallis, she said, hey, ladies, go ahead and make sure y'all tag y'all tribe of all of those people over at Fierce and Focus and Kern Cherry and everybody. Let them know that this young lady, Jean Turner, is here talking to us about her journey and what she had. Glory to God. Yes, glory to God.
Glory to God.
So now you now have a passion to help others, I'd like for you to talk to us about what that passion consists of. Like, what is a nurse coach, and what does your passion consist of for today?
So that's a very good question. So number one, think for a moment. You've heard of a health coach, right?
Yes.
But a nurse coach is someone like myself who takes all their years of experience, all these credentials behind our names, right? We use all of that, right? And we use it to help others to, like, my mission is to help others to elevate their health, particularly those who are going through, currently dealing with chronic illness or disease such as cancer care and beyond, right? Such as heart disease, diabetes, because what people fail to realize is that health means different things to different people, and it is not just one dimensional, right? We are more than just the sum of our parts, but it begins that journey to health, whatever health means to you. It begins with your why. So I use my expertise, first of all, to help people discover their why now,
Right.
to help them to set realistic goals, individualized goals. And we work through some things that may be hindering them from achieving their goals. And then after that, we get to the nutrition and the exercise and the weight and whatever else they want to obtain, right, on their wellness journey. But you got to first dig deep and get to their why and what is preventing or impeding them from reaching
That's
their
good.
goals.
I love it. So you're almost like a one-stop shop type of coach is what I think I'm hearing. And so you're saying that you get a chance to deep dive on why they are where they are, what kind of brought them there, and then you can start working on some solutions without going just straight to, here's what I do. I'm a nurse and I can help you here, but I don't even know what the root cause of is what you're going through. I love that.
Come on. That's exactly it, Kim. That's exactly it. And it's not a one size fits all. What may be good for you may not be good for Andy. You understand what I'm saying? Even
Right.
though y'all may have the same condition or the same goal, because we're all individuals, right?
Yeah.
So
I love it. And so now, when as a nurse coach, what you're telling people, what I kind of would like to know, what is one of the more difficult kind of cases that you've dealt with, and you say we got to get this thing together, and kind of where they are now as a result of you all working together. So I want to just put you on the spot, but I would love to hear a story about that at some point throughout today's discussion. It doesn't have to be right this second, because I really want to know where people are when they come to you. Where are they at a phase where they're like, I just need a little bit of help, or are they really broken and downtrodden? What's the situation when they're coming to you?
Woo! I've gotten both. I've had both. I have those that just need that accountability, right?
Okay.
And
That's
then
what I was
I've
thinking.
had those who have come like a year ago. I coached a young lady. We had to get to the root of this, that mindset, right? Because she was really dealing with some issues here that until we got a chance, I got a chance to coach her through that, right? And,
Mhm.
and to get her to realize her greatness from within. And then look, we couldn't even begin to talk about the hypertension
Right.
and the other things that she wanted to work on reversing or improving on, because it starts here. So that's the
Right.
thing about a coach, right? You've got to get to the root. Mindset matters. And so until we get to this, fix this, change this, and realize what stage in the change process they are, because they may not even want to change.
That's good. If you don't want to change, what difference does it make? It's like you're just fighting a losing battle. Now, you're helping all of these people by your nurse coaching experience, but how did you yourself, I know you leaned heavily on the Lord, but that was like for you to come back and have to physically learn how to walk again, come out of a wheelchair, come out of a coma, then get back to the point where you're running and jogging and here. How did you really get to where you are? Did you get some coaching yourself, or what did you do?
Look. Every coach supposed to have a coach, right? But when I was walking through that, I had a lot of support from my battalion back at my duty station. My good friend Leon Rainey, who's also a social worker. I had his assistance. I did a lot. That's when I started journaling. Everything I taught my patients over all of these decades, I had to apply myself. So I started journaling, and that was very therapeutic for me. But I would like to touch on this one thing when we talk about a warrior, because out of all of that, my business and brand was birthed, the spirit of a warrior. It even became a self-care book that I wrote. And so when we talk about that, realize, Kim, I grew up in New York City. I came out the womb having a fight. Like from a young age, I was getting into street fights and stuff, right? Yeah, for all of those who don't know my background, this may be very shocking to you, especially as a minister talking. But I had to learn how to fight. I had to look. That is the warrior spirit really resonates on the inside from the heart. It is the heart of a person. And true warriors, which I consider myself to be, especially when I got in the military and went down range to Iraq, you couldn't tell me I was a bad butt, okay? And resilient. But you have to learn how to dig deep. God gives us strength, the strength of God in us. We have to dig deep within and pull from his strength to live and fight another day. We have to watch the words that we speak out of our mouths, because life and death are in the power of a tongue. There are some people that we have to, I love you, but I'm loving you from a distance because you just speaking negativity. I had to stay away from them folks that talk about, well, my auntie, mother, sister, brother was diagnosed with cancer, and this is what happened to them. I had to separate from all them people and all of that.
That's good. So you really separated. You utilized people that were in your previous battalion and they came through. So asking for help wasn't a sign of weakness. Many times Les Brown says asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but it's a sign of strength, that you actually are strong enough to know that you need the help. And so that's something that we definitely need to learn to do better. Ask for help, and you needed help in your troop. Your peers, your contemporaries, they came through for you. So I'm excited about that. Let's see, some other comments came in. I see you, Andrew. Thank you so much for helping too today. Many people associate medical care as strictly a medical condition. How has the mental stress aspect impacted your overall health?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question. And this is where this balance comes in at, right? Remember earlier I said we are more than just the sum of our parts. We are not just physical beings. We have a mind. Mental health, the state of our minds, the state of our emotions, the state of our spirit, man. All of this comes into play. Go back to about the healthcare workers now on the front lines of COVID, right? Their mind, think about when your mind, right, when you under a lot of mental stress affects it manifests in your bodies physically. It's anxiety, the worry, it manifests in stomach aches and in a form of headaches, in a form of elevated blood pressure, elevated pulse. It manifests physically. And so I don't know if you know what I mean that says stress will kill you quicker than a bullet. I believe the stress I was under from the time that they found the little pinprick spot to when it grew, I was under so much stress, multiple missions, Joint Commission was coming, and that stress is really what grew that tumor. I truly believe that. So our mental stress does manifest in our physical body, and over long term, when it becomes chronic and over time, it can make you sick, literally physically sick.
Wow. Okay. That was a great question. Thank you. Keep your questions coming. Is the primary focus of your RN coaching towards other healthcare professionals or more intended for patients in general?
That is a very good question, Andy. My major focus is on individuals and groups. I do coach healthcare professionals as well, because guess what? Some of us ain't got it all together neither. All right. I can't tell you the number of times when I was working in hospitals, when you're so busy all day long, the stress of the job, the short staffing, the being on call and working sometimes 12, 14, 16, 24 hours a day straight, right? All of that. It affects you. It affects your profession. It affects your care that you give. So yes, other healthcare professionals, and two, workplace wellness. God has really given me an opening to go into employ and to go to employers and their workplace sites, to teach and help with their wellness programs. So yes.
That's good. Good. I'm loving everything. Keep the questions popping in. Andrew's helping today on the Kim Jacobs Show. And so please keep the questions coming, and we appreciate it. And I want to make sure too that any of you all that are in the studio audience, if you have questions also, feel free. I do want to take a moment and go to your actual website. This website I love. So I want to take a moment and go over here and show people where they can visit and learn everything they need to learn about Jean Turner. So Jean Turner, the spirit of, I love this. Okay. I'm on the about page, but I'm going to go to your home page here. Are you all seeing the home page? Can you see that home page? Let me go back over here. Make sure you all are seeing what I'm seeing. Yes. All right. There you go. So Jean Turner, compassionate, authentic, the spirit of a warrior life. Never say die, never surrender. And that's saying that the power of our words make a difference. The power of life and death is right in our tongue. Yes. She also has her nurse coaching description right here on her website, and some of the services that people can expect to receive from you when they do book you is what? What can people expect?
So I do one-on-one coaching, individual coaching. I do group coaching, groups of no more than 10, because I wanted to be an intimate setting. I also do seminars. I do workplace wellness. And my key signature programs, though, for those who are currently walking through a health situation, is focused on cancer care and beyond cancer, right? Because you got to repair your body after the treatments. Our Warriors Walk to Heart Health and our Diabetic Warriors Walk to Wellness, as well as my signature prevention program for those of us who are 50 years young and beyond, Fit Foxy 50 and beyond. And it's not just for women. We got some silver foxes out here, you men folks as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those silver fox men. I saw them on Instagram. I was like, wait, look at all them men. They you can't help but look at the screen. You be like, what? All of them grayed out and doing all of that. They doing some special walking and slow motion stuff. I was like, okay, well, y'all fox out there. Y'all representing the men well. Okay.
Yes.
Tell us also about your podcast. I see your podcast here. Tell us about that.
So that was birthed. I actually started podcasting, doing a brief 10-minute segment on someone else's show while I was on chemotherapy back in 2019. The producer liked it. He said, I don't have a show like yours. Can we work together? And so June of 2020, Health Chat with Coach Jean was born, my global podcast. And then March of this year, I branched into a local radio show here in Atlanta, 1570 WIGO AM.
Excellent. So you're a Brooklyn girl, but you planted in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, actually to Jamaica, Queens. My husband from Brooklyn. I'm from Queens.
Oh, Jamaica, Queens. Excuse me. I know it's got to be very specific, right? You can't be playing when you're saying somebody from the New York area. Don't be just saying I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Jamaica, Queens.
But no, we all New Yorkers, right? Especially outside of New York. But what was I saying, girlfriend? What was I saying?
Oh, you were talking about your podcast and the fact that it was birthed and now you have the radio station that you're on.
But yeah, we retired here. My husband is retired military as well, and we retired here in the Atlanta area.
Okay, when you say your husband now, because you were married before, you got divorced, right?
Yep.
Okay, so talk to us about your Boaz. Now, don't be playing. Talk to us.
Well, in 1996, I met my husband. We started dating. Didn't like him at first. He thought I was stuck up or whatever. We tell the story all the time. But we started out as friends and it grew into a relationship. In January 2nd, 1999, we both said I do. And he is my soulmate. And kudos to him because he stood by my side throughout all of that suddenly healthcare crisis. He didn't give up on me. He didn't give up on God first and foremost, and he didn't give up on me. He knew he had a fighter. So
That's
yeah,
good. Good.
kudos to
Well,
him and every caregiver, because it made me realize too how much the caregiver goes through the diagnoses with their loved one, except for the physical aspect, but the mental, social, emotional, spiritual, everything else they experience as well. So kudos to the caregivers out there.
to all caregivers around the world, we salute you today and we
Yes.
honor you and we thank you
Yes.
for
Matter
your
of fact,
service. Yes.
giving them
I got it all wrong. I'm not in the military. You're like, Kim, your hand is wrong. Don't do that again.
you are right. You are right.
I'm doing something over here. I
are
salute
right.
you guys. Excellent job. Excellent job, Minister Jean, is what Alania says. And Andrew asked the question, how do you assess the impact of your art in coaching? Like, what are you using as assessment tools when you're coaching individuals in this situation?
Oh, wow. Well, I use, oh, Lord. There's tools that I use throughout the coaching experience. But the testimonials that my clients give, a few are on my webpage, the fact that they go out and tell others about me, that is the best assessment. And then even at the end of our sessions, the 4-week, 8-week, 12-week session, whatever they sign up for, I ask them, is this something I need to improve on? Do you feel you've gotten what you needed from our coaching session?
Yes.
And how can I improve? So I'm asking them to critique me at the end of our sessions.
That's great. Great. And Dr. Yolanda Jerry is on, and she said, good morning, Queens. And she said she loves her some Coach Jean.
Oh, Dr. Yolanda, bless you. And Alona Jones, that's my pastor.
Oh, Pastor Alona Jean Jones. So glad to have you representing one of your members here, and so glad that she's here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, you all, make sure that you all tell everybody to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show and turn your notification bell to all. And we go live Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and to subscribe. And many people want to know, how do we keep this program live Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. every weekday? We're here with a new guest and we share ways to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. Well, the way that we do that is how? Through the community members like yourselves being able to pour into the program. So feel free to use any of these methods to just contribute to our ministry. And this gives us an opportunity to continue to provide you with original program content. And a final thing I'll say about some things that we offer here is, if you're interested in ever starting your own show from scratch, I've had over 13 years of experience when it comes to being in the talk show world, over 20 some years in the coaching. But when it comes to talk shows, I've been with PBS and had a show on the Word Network, and then also filmed at the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio and was the expert on one of the local NBC stations. So if you're interested in learning how to start your show from scratch, you'll be able to work with me in a one-on-one masterclass where we do 6 one-hour sessions for 6 weeks straight, and you walk away with the rights to own your own show, and you're getting an opportunity to share your gift with the rest of the world. So just go to kimjacobsconsulting.com. And as of today, actually, I also have the opportunity from our program to offer financing. So if you're interested in that option, you can reach out to me as well. And it's 360 days, same as cash. So that's huge. So thanks to our financing company that took us on with that project. Jean.
Yes,
Jean, you wear a lot of hats. When I was looking here, I was reading your bio. Let me go back over here. I was reading your bio. You are a retired Army Nurse Corps officer, holistic health nurse coach, licensed minister, author, international speaker, radio personality. You're a podcaster. I'm out of breath. You're the CEO of Spirit of a Warrior Life Enterprises, LLC. How do you balance all of these different hats effectively? Right after this commercial break, I want to hear the answer to that. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right. So we'll be right back with Gene Turner immediately following this commercial break. Wow. I mean, you've said a whole lot already, and it's less in this hour. It seemed like it's like in slow motion in a good way for me, because I think we're learning so much from you. So we'll be right back.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work with Hunter and Everett. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
All right, everyone, and we are back with Gene Turner. I'm looking here at your comment. Thank you, Andrew. You said you can hear Minister Gene Turner, and we're going to put this in the comments on WIGO 1570, 2017 Stellar Award winning Best Gospel Station Major, as well as on her podcast. Way to deep dive, Andrew, backstage.
Thank you. Wow.
Andrew, you know I want you to put your Santa hat on, and I'm going to pull you in for 1 second, so you might as well go ahead and get ready for that. Okay, I'll wait till I see you. But anyway, Gene, tell us how you balance everything that you have on your plate.
Ooh, girlfriend. So real talk here. I cannot start my day without first going before my Father, my Heavenly Father, because I need the guidance, right? I also, will take time out during the course of the day to just sit still, meditate, do some mindfulness meditation, deep breathe. I take it one moment. I'm learning, because it's a work in progress still, because I was so used to always going nonstop. But I'm still learning myself to take it one moment at a time and prioritize. If it can wait till 2 to 3 days later, then it's going to wait to 2 to 3 days later. I hit the top priorities every day, and what can wait, this has to wait. I no longer overwhelm myself anymore, and I'm on roller skates 12, 14, 16 hours a day, and I get my rest. Thank you very much. I get my 7 to 8 hours sleep.
Girl, you all up in my book material. My new book is coming out, because I wrote a book about extreme balance makeover for a few years ago, and I do have that available on kimjacobshow.com. But I'm in the process of finalizing a new book, and one thing that I say is being able to carry over, like do all of those priorities, and then must do. These are must do's. Then there are things that can wait, and whatever can wait, it can go to another day. And it might not even be the priority on the next day. It might actually fall short on that day because it really wasn't a real priority from the beginning. And so I totally agree with you. And at night, I get my rest. Some nights I stay up because I want to, by choice, to catch up on a show or whatever I want to do some social media. But when it comes time to getting that good sleep, I'm gonna get that sleep. You know why? Because the world, if it shuts down overnight, I'm in heaven anyway. Go on about your business. The world ended, it just ended. But at the end of the day, the world's not gonna come to a complete halt and end just because you got your rest. So I don't need to preach on here myself, but I'm gonna tell you right now that I am an advocate for you getting good, proper rest. That's the only way we can balance this thing called life. If you really are trying to maintain and function, you have to be able to get some good quality rest. And everything's going to be there the next day. If it's supposed to be there for you, it'll be there for you. If not,
amen. But you said something key, Kim. Like every now and then, I may stay up a little later. Granted, I'm going to get it on the back end, though, but I may stay up a little later. But it's a lifestyle. We've got to develop a lifestyle of wellness and well-being, lifestyle balance. So on the nights you stay up a little later, you either get on the back end, or the next night you getting all the rest you're supposed to get. This is balance.
That's right. I love it. I love what you're saying here. I see some more comments coming in. Dr. Jerry, she said, thank you so much for your service. Hello, ladies. Dr. Joe Harris said, hey, Gene, you're the best.
Oh, y'all are too kind. Look, thank you for your service, Dr. Yolanda. And thank you
Dr.
all.
Jerry.
Mwah. Love you all.
All right. Listen, we're going to pull in our own Black Santa. We have our own Black Santa right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So let me pull you in, Mr. How are you? How are you, Mr. Black Santa? What do you want want to say to the people in the viewing audience, Mr. Andrew Robert?
I hope you're having a good season so far, and I love the guest person we have today, Miss Jean Turner. I'm also a fellow veteran, United States Navy, who also worked for the VA. So I have a little bit of understanding of the background. And I guess one of my personal questions to you is, because the audience may have some folks out there who are what we call, Operation Iraqi Freedom, IRF. Most people don't understand what that is, just like OE, Operation Enduring Freedom. They get confused a little bit, and the war on national terrorism. How have you applied, the balance? I think it goes back to what you said initially. Having a center and being balanced at first is where you start out from, because, people seem to forget the mental health aspect, particularly since it's ripe for ostracism. It's ripe for, people that don't understand, ignorance. Right. In other words, what's your take on that? Again, I just like to reemphasize that for the listening audience.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your service. My daddy was Navy, so thank you for your service and what you continue to do for veterans. And so, what I like to say is this: that we've got to stop the stigma when it comes to mental illness. All right, we've got to stop that stigma. I know the military has, over the years, improved that. It is more at the forefront now, mental illness and your mental health and well-being. But we've got to find someone to talk to, a licensed professional. There is no shame, and it is just as important. Look, we have to take care of our mental well-being just like we take care of our physical well-being. It's equally important. And let's stop this. I'm just going to go to the doctor when I don't feel good physically or when something hurts. If you are suffering from within, there is no shame. Call the hotline. There are hotlines you can call. Go seek a healthcare professional, licensed professional. Go talk to somebody that you trust. But please get help, and let's talk about it, because there's no shame in that.
I appreciate that, because I think it's overlooked, particularly this time of the year, when the holiday season's in full blown. Everybody's festive. But it can also be a downer for a lot of people. So I thought that, given this opportunity, you could speak to that, folks who might want to reach out to you, or folks that might want to reach out to anyone for that matter, or, you might have someone out there contemplating doing some harm to themselves.
No, and like I said, there are people standing by waiting. They 24/7. Reach out, call somebody you trust, but get on the horn and say, I need you. But then we have to be vigilant as well, right? People that we know in our circle, if they're acting some kind of way that is not their norm, we need to have eyes on and say, are you okay? We need to reach out to our neighbors or via social media or on these Zooms and stuff, because COVID has caused much isolation in the land, right? People are separated. So let's reach out more. If it's a phone call, if it's a video like Zoom, whatever. Look, let's begin to reach out, knock on someone's door. Are you okay? Do you need something? People just need to know that someone cares. Thank you so much for posting that National Suicide Hotline, because it's real, and especially this time of year, and then COVID on top of that. Wow, it's pretty much like, dual. It's a lot.
What do you say to some folks I have run across at times may observe something that's off, so to speak, about a person, a loved one, or whomever? How do you coach them or give them guidance, or what guidance would you give them to help someone who refuses help?
Right.
Well, see, my specialty is not mental health, behavioral health. But when I see something, I'm like, are you okay? Is something wrong? We can't force people to talk, right? But what we can do is sit there and listen, because eventually they're going to say something. But knowing the cues, I think really knowing the signs, right? Are they talking negative all the time? Are they trying to give away their stuff, right? This is certain things that are
Right.
outside of the norm that we can pinpoint and hone in on. And by all means, if you encounter somebody like that, don't leave them alone. Back channel somebody else. Get on the horn with somebody else. Call somebody. Call the EMS and say, look, I got someone here. They're not talking right. I think they might do something. We need help now. But do
That's good.
something.
That's
Don't
good.
just leave them.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on. And hey, while you're on here, let me get a quick smile right quick so I can screenshot it. Give me a second. Do whatever you want to do as Black Santa Claus. Go ahead. Oh, wait. I got you midstream. You're so silly. Come on. Let's see. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. Smile. All right, listen, we love our Kim Jacobs Show team, and you never know how they're going to pop from behind the scenes and come on and make a difference and add even more value to the show. So thank you, Andrew, for your appearance. I appreciate it for all of your help.
Thank you, and thank you to our guests. She's wonderful.
Shannon, to all of y'all, Shambria, all of y'all, the whole team, Mackenzie, Rachel, you all know y'all are amazing. And every one of you have your own individual roles, but you do make a difference here on the show. So thank you, Andrew. I'll pop you back.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you.
All right. So I have one more episode sponsor that I want to acknowledge today, and that's Lamb Funeral Home, especially with some of you all being in the military or former military as a veteran, that you're still here and able to, let me go right here, and you're able to take advantage of some of these services. Lamb Funeral Home is located in the Concord, North Carolina area. And Mr. Terry Lamb, who is the owner in the red and blue tie there, he actually is a veteran himself and knows all the ins and outs of veteran benefits. So if you're an adult child, a dependent of a veteran, or you're a spouse of a veteran, you want to take a moment and just give a call to their establishment, 704-782-3011. And you can ask any of your questions that you may have. He'll talk to you about what to expect. What are some of the immediate needs if you have a loved one that's passed away, on funeral pre-planning as well, even before anybody passes? How do you pre-plan for anything? Because we know all of us are going to die at some point. So go ahead and give Lamb Funeral Home a call and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. 704-782-3011. All right. So this has been an action-packed episode. I've enjoyed myself tremendously.
How good, girl, yeah. Then the hour went quick.
It did. But listen, I do want to pull some of these pictures up because you had sent some pictures. Tell us about some of these. What is this?
That is my latest release. There Must Be Balance, Your Health Matters, available on Amazon.
Woohoo! Make sure you all get your copy of There Must Be Balance. It's available on Amazon. Screenshot this image and make sure that you get your copy today. And that is a beautiful, beautiful image. I love it. Are those your hands?
No.
Okay. But those are beautiful, the way that you can just see they've been working in there, and they got a little bit of cracks. And I just think that is beautiful artistry. Wow. There Must Be Balance. Your health matters. And let's see here. Oh, look at you.
that was just September, my 58th birthday. Yes, I went
girlfriend. You can't tell you nothing. Nothing. Don't, girl, that's like, you know, who says that? That's nice. Who says that? I think that's Tiffany Haddish or something. Anyway, say that's nice. Okay, talk to us about this.
That's the book that God put in my spirit to write. Actually, when I was journaling through my suddenly healthcare crisis. Yep, that was me.
Look at you. God, you're a warrior. Woo! I love it. I love it. Okay, the finish line. Talk to us about that.
Yes, that was the Disney half marathon. Yeah, I'm a runner. So that's all I used to do. Run. So that's what I did. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right.
That's Iraq, girl. So 2006-07. That was Iraq.
Wow. Okay, so if you had any closing words of encouragement, especially during this holiday season, what would be something that you would share with people just as a closing thought?
What I would say is, number one, we need to remember that we are in the midst of a pandemic. So that whatever you do, remember, please wear your mask, do what you can do, wash your hands, right? But please take care of yourself. Your health matters. There must be balance, right? And don't isolate yourself. Just use wisdom. Wear your mask, wash your hands. We got to use wisdom in all things, but build up your immune system, okay? Not just now during a pandemic, but make health a lifestyle. It must become a lifestyle.
That's so good. Listen, everybody, I'm going to put this contact information up again because you can't afford not to stay connected with Jean Turner. You'll be able to find out about her podcast, her books, everything that this woman is offering right on her website, which is, let's pull this up, spiritofawarrior.life, spiritofawarrior.life. And then if you want to go ahead and listen to her podcast, which, when is your podcast broadcast?
I'll say, so the podcast is Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the radio show Tuesdays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time.
Make sure you don't miss the podcast, spiritofawarrior.life/podcast. And then also we know about the radio station. If you can tune in right there in the Atlanta area or surrounding areas, make sure that you tune in to hear her on. Let me pull that up specifically. I want to give the call letters so that we don't miss any way for people to stay connected with you. Let's see. WIGO 1570. Yeah. Everybody should be tuning in to hear this dynamic woman, this nurse coach, this Iraqi veteran here, and this person that is just an author and warrior, spirit of a warrior. You can't get any better. If you can't be encouraged by her story, then I don't think you're going to be encouraged by anybody's personally. So I am honored to have you here today on the show.
Can I just tell you, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be a guest on your wonderful, awesome show. And thanks to Andy and the crew and all your listeners. I will be in touch, and I just want to honor you, Queen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here today. And everybody, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show, support the show in some capacity, or sign up for one of the master classes. And on tomorrow, make sure y'all are ready in your virtual seats at 11, because we have Man's Misfit, but Kingdom's Perfect Fit. None other than Ivory Morris, indie gospel recording artist, is going to be right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And she's going to talk to us about her new single release, Constantly. All right, so you don't want to miss that, everybody. Yeah. And then we know on Freestyle Friday, we have some of our experts that's going to be popping in, and they're going to be sharing some things that God put in their heart for you this holiday season. So be in your seats on Friday as well. We'll see you all tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think I want to go out on that praise music, because that praise music felt sound good, didn't it?
Girl,
God brought you from a mighty long way, right? He done brought you from a mighty long way. So we're going to go out on this praise music, everybody. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to go out on that. If God did anything for you, you want to go ahead and give him praise, because he brought you from a coma.
Come
on. He brought you from cancer.
Come on, girl. Can't
I'm
do
going to bring you back in one more time.
Hey.
Y'all got anything that y'all are thankful for?
Oh, yeah. Woo.
All right, everybody. We're going to get ready to close out and have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank y'all. Mwah.
Mwah. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim J.